Good morning. My name is Jess, and this is part one of our final presentation for this semester's course. We were presented at the very beginning of this course with a sphere project. We needed to pick a topic in which we wanted to spend the entirety of this course kind of developing social media pages around. I originally picked telling my story as a single mom, as somebody who has experienced trauma or violence in their life, someone who's overcome obstacles and overcome hurdles. I thought, what a better way to share my story and to inspire others and to motivate others than to utilize this course as an outlet. I struggled, and I shared some of those struggles of what pieces of my story do I tell? How do I tell them? Am I going to offend others by telling them in a way, or telling my story in a way that others may not agree with? How am I going to impact others' lives? What could potentially come of this? And I've struggled the entirety of the last 5 weeks, and I have struggled with trying to truly just find my voice and find what's appropriate and find what I'm comfortable with. So during those 5 weeks, as we know, things like COVID, the George Floyd death, the Black Lives Matter movements, all of these things have been happening in the background. So I started thinking over the last couple of weeks about how can I find a way to connect what I've gone through in a bigger picture rather than just maybe touching a direct source of people or a direct audience and targeting just a direct group. How do I maybe not have to share so much personal, and I can kind of keep some of those fears about, am I sharing too much? Am I sharing too little? Am I sharing something that maybe isn't mine to share? Although it's my story, how will this impact other people? Am I potentially affecting others' lives by sharing some of what I'd like to? So I began thinking about my capstone research project months ago in a previous course. And so I'm actually going to change part 2 of this final. I'm not focusing on the same sphere. I think something that's really important is educating our youth and changing the youth perspective for those who are growing up in our world today. I think, for instance, you will see in my final paper, I targeted a specific school district to help with their youth and development. I live in Westminster. I graduated from Adams County 12 school districts in 2011. And so I have a close connection or a close relationship to that particular school district. It helped raise me for several years, and I appreciate what I gained from it. Adams 12 in the 2019-2020 school year experienced 5 student suicides in 40 days. Not from one particular school, from multiple schools, but 5 student suicides in 40 days. That's huge, and that's tragic, and that's sad. The causes range anywhere from bullying to depression to there were several different things related to each story. So how about I connect with this project by taking some of my personal pieces. I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with anxiety, I've dealt with suicidal ideations, I've dealt with bullying, I've dealt with so many of those pieces that I very well could have been one of those 5 students if I hadn't have risen above it, and I hadn't have found the resources that I needed, and hadn't have found the connections that I have, and hadn't built my life around some of those pieces and used it as strength. Unfortunately, the 5 students that we're talking about didn't have that same ability, didn't necessarily have that same mentality. And it's really sad to think that we lost 5 young lives to to bullying or to depression or to anxiety or to some of the things that they're facing. It breaks my heart. So what I'm actually going to propose as my capstone and research project, and something that I'm already working with the school district, is I'd like to develop some sort of a yearly compliance training. We as employees and as staff typically will do a yearly compliance training based around things that are both regulated as far as the board or commissions that you work with, but also maybe company specific. Here's how we handle certain things, or here's who your resources are or contacts. We don't have anything like that for youth. We have different programs that they can get involved in. Sure, there's things like DARE and Defy and different organizations that you can choose to get involved in if either A, you want to, and B, you know about them. What happens to those who don't want to get involved? What happens to those who don't know about those programs? Why is it an option? Why is it an option to learn about these things, or to be introduced to these things? And why is it an option if we give them resources or we don't promote resources? So the proposal that I'm submitting right now is actually something that I'm working on towards my capstone and research project. It's actually something that I'm currently working to propose to the Adams 12 school district here in Westminster. And it's something that I truly want to take leaps and bounds with, and hopefully be able to take some of the pieces that I've struggled with, connect with others, and build an incredible program. It sounds really ambitious, but it's something that I'm definitely passionate about. And I think that I think as a leader, you need to think about not just yourself in a process. Yes, I absolutely have a voice. Yes, I absolutely have a right to share my story. Is there a way I can do it more constructively and I can impact more lives than just a targeted audience? I think knowing that I want to be a leader and knowing that I do hold a leadership role even at this point in my life, it's never about yourself. When you become a leader, it's never about yourself any longer. It's about those who you oversee, those who you influence, those who you could come across, and it's how you impact them and how you allow them to impact you. And I think that was a really big takeaway from this is I created videos after videos and I shared hours worth of personal stories. Was it the best move to make? Was I, like this project talks about, was I choosing my words wisely? Did it feel good to just kind of let it out and talk about it? Absolutely. Was it therapeutic in my own way? Absolutely. But is it okay to say, okay, now let's redirect, now that we've thought through this, we put a lot of time and effort into thinking through this, and do this a little differently? That's okay. And I'm okay with the decision that I've made. So I'm really excited to share this. Like I said, it's very targeted, it's very directed, but it was requested that we write this in a proposal. And so I would like to propose to Adams 12 School District the creation of this compliance training, touching on topics like LGBTQ, touching on topics such as bullying, cyberbullying, anxiety, depression, alcohol and drug use, and figuring out what's affecting our students. What do we need to, and maybe it's not the same for all schools. So that's why I'm proposing that we pick several different schools within the school district and figure out, because not all schools have the same demographics. But they may have a collective demographic, but they may have a bigger population of this, a smaller population of this, and may overall need bigger this. So it's important to make sure that we are hearing all voices and not just one track. And I think that that's where my head was at with the beginning of my Spear project, was as I was very single-minded towards a targeted audience versus being beneficial to multiple. So I'm really excited to share the paper that I've written. I'm really excited to see what happens with when I choose to take this to the school board. And I'm really excited to see what comes of this for my capstone and research project. But I think, knowing if I had to approach this differently next time, I think I would have thought through things much earlier on. I think I came into this with such a narrow mind, I'm going to do this, such a focus. And then I waited and I struggled. And rather than switching gears faster, I just sat around this one idea and said, okay, what are my solutions? Versus, okay, I have different pieces. What are my options? And I think that would be the biggest thing that I would change. God let me go through some of the things that I have as an opportunity to learn and grow. I truly believe that I've gone through what I have in order to share with others, to connect with others, and to help others face similar things, or to help them get through similar things and give them somebody who they can connect with. So did he have me go through that to just share with one audience? I don't think so. I think I went through multiple things, multiple areas and aspects of struggle, and it gave me the ability to connect with more than one dynamic, more than one social group, more than one age group. And I truly think that that is my purpose, not just to connect with maybe single parents or single moms or single dads who are struggling. I think I was given a gift to be able to share with many. And I think that that's the mentality that I need to keep. Yes, it's easy to stay within your comfort zone, and to talk about what you know. But I think it's also important to say, okay, this is what I went through. What did you struggle with? Are our stories similar? Are they not similar? And how can I connect my story with somebody else's to help build something incredible? And so that's what I'm really hopeful that this will be. So I took way more time than I should have, but I think it was important to kind of talk about where my head was at with the Sphere project versus what I'm about to produce, and kind of what helped me to get there. I think it's really important to think about not just yourself, but it's important to think about others when you're making decisions, especially as we're looking at, our degree is organizational leadership. So it's no longer just about ourselves. And I think it's being true to ourselves 100%, but it's thinking about how our words impact others, and what we are potentially creating or producing with those words. So that's kind of where my thought process came from. That's where the project that I'm about to produce to you came from, and I'm really excited to see what comes of it. I super appreciate you. Thank you so much. This was an incredible 5 weeks, and I think I learned more than I even was open or knew that was possible. So I appreciate each one of you. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing what comes of this. Have a great day.